Mhm. Okay, hello everyone. I hope the sound works well. You can hear me, and if you have any questions, you can interrupt me at any point and ask me, and I will hear you. I think everything should work well. Um, we, if there are not so many people, so it really can be a interactive. Interactive, not lecture, but interactive lesson. I don't know, interactive conversation. Um, so you can really ask any questions. I will read both Zoom chat and hear your voice. So you can at any point interrupt and say out anything with your voice. And I think I have to make a disclaimer that it is Vitaly Aksonov, the organizer of UKIEPC, asked me to record this video. So I don't know how it will be distributed or will be used at all, but just don't make very annoying comments out loud if you don't want to be them to be saved on this video and stored somewhere. But please feel free to make any comments. Um, as there are not, probably there will be not many of us here, so you can even adjust my what I will show you, because I have the plan. I know what I am going to show, but if it comes that all of you are very familiar with that and you need some more professional level information, for example, then we can like vote or decide it. Yeah, like probably vote. And if like everyone wants more something more advanced, then we could move on. But for as the general plan goes, I'm going to teach you, to show you the basic information about how to participate in competitive programming rounds using the programming language Python, or formally speaking, Python 3 point something, because Python 2 is the separate formally separate language. So let's be correct and let's call the language Python 3. Uh, so I hope that you are familiar with the at least basic syntax of Python 3. Otherwise, I guess it's well, first you have to learn the syntax of the language, and only then you should start competing in competitive programming events. So syntax should be is a must, is a prerequisite that you must have to. But I suppose that you don't have experience in participating in competitive programming events, or like none, or at least or almost none. And then I hope I can be helpful. I my oh I'm noted as Zoom room 133. So I have a name. My name is Mikhail Dvorkin. Well, you can call me Michael. It's okay. Call me Michael. And I'm like a veteran of competitive programming. If we were speaking about collegiate programming contest, the ICPC, the main important one, I'm the gold medalist of 2007. So what's it, 13 years, 17 years ago, I was like very top level. And then now I do it just for fun, and sometimes teach. Well, I teach most for the last decade. I mostly taught high school students, a little bit of some university students. So it's uh, that's what I like. I usually do it in Russian, but now sometimes do it in English. I hope my language is okay, understandable. And if I speak too fast, for example, please tell me. But I think that as I'm not a native speaker, um, I, I don't think I will be speaking too fast, and you can understand me easily. Okay. So that yes, and at any point you can interrupt me, ask questions and stuff like that. And uh, so we will be doing today. We will solve a previous round that ran a few some time ago. Okay, let me actually show you my browser, which is more informative than my bearded face. So I will show you, I guess, the entire screen. Okay, no, the browser, for example. No, wait, there's oops, uh, just a second. Okay, the entire screen. In this case, we don't need to launch the meeting. This is uh, the platform that I will be teaching you information about, that I will be talking about. Uh, it is well. I think it is generally accepted that this is the main competitive programming platform currently in the world. With some acknowledgement and some pleasure, should announce that before it was topcoder.com, like for previous decade. Like I'm a veteran, I know the old stuff, so I can talk a little bit about the history, a little bit. So I respect and recognize the coolness of topcoder.com, which was cool for previous decade. But now I think it's quite obvious for many people that Codeforce is the main programming competitions platform. There are some other important ones, like I definitely want to mention AdCoder, which I like also as well. AdCoder.gp, it's not easy to, well, it's just Japanese site and it's a wonderful site and system. So you can look at that also. There are some more. You can find lists of them. Maybe okay. I don't want to open my Telegram. It's like a little bit private. But I would say that uh, well, there is a Telegram bot that I use a lot, but generally, let me, yeah. So I haven't thought about it beforehand, but another, if I'm also showing not some platforms like some resources that you could use, I definitely want you to know clist.by, that's Belarus, and this is the aggregation platform, the aggregation system of many. Um, Okay, actually, all the platforms with competitive programming that you can think of. Like if you start your own platform and you conduct your own rounds, your own contests, you definitely yeah, want the organizer of this system, of this aggregation system, to know about you. So everything is here, and well, probably if you are to learn just one thing from this Zoom, this is the good resource that you might have not known before, but it is really useful. So please use it. And of course, it shows the Codeforce rounds, which are like this is the emblem, the logo of Codeforce. So there will be some in 3 days, for example, Division 2. But also, please look at all other systems. They are wonderful. Great people are doing them. And you can, I also right here, well, I'm just logged out currently, but I can log in, and then you could set up reminders to email, to Google, to Calendar, for example, Google Calendar, or to Telegram as a Telegram bot message that will remind you, like in 1 day or in whatever time you want, for you not to miss any round. So what do I mean by round? In case you are really a novice person, which is absolutely okay. I'm happy to be the advertiser that takes you on board into this wonderful industry. I don't know, wonderful uh, part of part of life. So people like to compete generally. It's psychology 101. So they sometimes conduct matches rounds where people participate in the same round simultaneously all across the world over the internet, usually. So that you see the rank of yourself against other people and to understand what are you good at, what are you bad at, what you have to improve, and so on. They also have, if you didn't know, the rating system. So on Codeforce, for example, you have a color, which is also like psychologically interesting. I myself lost my red color, which is like shameful for me. I definitely want to be red, but I'm doing like, not so good currently. But please join me in the red color and please beat me. I will be happy if eventually you will become like dark red, and I think it's international grandmaster and stuff like that. So please uh, enjoy that. So you can participate in specific rounds, like here you have contests with upcoming, well, the previous rounds, which are also useful, but upcoming rounds go here, and you can save the time and for like 2 hours participate there for rating. Or if you're not so sure about your knowledge currently, you can solve the previous rounds, previous problems just for like upsolving, for training, for fun actually. And there are like already almost like yeah, because of different divisions, there are like thousands of previous rounds. So problems for any taste, for any topics are already there. Um, Divisions are quite an old thing. It started from Topcoder, where there had two divisions. Now there are like four divisions in Codeforce. So I don't know you guys, unfortunately, but well, as far as I understand, if you are like a Division 2 person, then I this is not the Zoom for you. I can teach you something cool for Division 2 and for Division 1 level people. I'm quite sure that my knowledge is broad to teach you something. But currently we are doing, I'm doing some talk proposed for people of like Division 3, Division 4 level. So if you want to train on the previous problems, please do either maybe educational rounds, which are like also good, or just pure Division 3, Division 4 rounds. Because if you start like solving Division 1 out of nowhere, you will be just you will not have like endorphins or dopamines or whatever, like hormones of happiness, because you will be stuck with the problem that you're still don't have the knowledge how to solve, and it will be like you will be stuck. But like rather solve easy problems first and then grow and beat me. I'll be happy when it happens. So Division 2 in 3 days, probably, I'm not sure whether it's okay for you, but please follow this and participate in rounds 3 and 4. Also, don't care much about rating. Well, I care about mine, but I was like not like I was a professional 17 years ago. So for me, it's like important, but please, uh, if you ride the round and your rating drops down, take it easily. You will restore it quite soon. So just have fun, basically. Um, um, what should I tell about the yeah, about the platform? There are also groups for, I don't know what university you are from, but probably there is like if your university has oh, these are mine groups. They're mostly in Russian language. Well, but if you go to all groups, you can find groups of your university or groups of people of your level training, like by schedule and stuff like that. So you also can look at that. Uh, and yeah, so I told you, I think let's move on to the problems itself, to the problem solving itself. This was like an introduction to competitive programming. This is the resource, aggregation resource with all the other systems and rounds shown in a timetable. This is just another good platform, and this is the main platform, the currently, well, obviously the main platform that currently is. Okay, so I opened what was the education. Let me move the. Okay, no, I think move it like this. So this is the Codeforce round 928 Division 4, which happened like a week ago or something. And I just took the most recent Division 4 round and read problems that so that I won't be like, no, I have experience just opening the problems of Division 3 and Division 4 the first time and solving it as a lecture. And it was quite, I think, well, it worked well. So it's called like, it's like twitching your playing some game on Twitch, right? So there are streams actually. Some people, some when you go to like homepage, sometimes there is like there are streams of people solving the problems. Yeah, like by the way, this is a you can after our Zoom you can join exactly this one. It's a beginner level at Coder contest, which is good. It happened like 1 hour ago, and so obviously no one it's incorrect to stream your solving of the problems right in the time in the exactly as the contest goes, because people participate for rating and someone will use your solutions to increase their ratings, which is like awful cheating. So like just 2 hours after the contest, someone recorded his or her uh, uh, what this person was, what they were how they were solving, and they will stream it as a video. So it's also a good part of, if you like streaming and watching videos, then watching the streamed videos, this is the good a good way to learn also. So I will be doing just that. I read the problems, but I didn't solve them. So if it, like I mean I didn't submit my code to the system. So if I do mistakes, this will be just a like a pedagogically interesting thing, because I will also just right there teach you how to deal with problems with the situations where your code doesn't get the verdict okay. And I hope you know that for this, when you open some problem, there are some tests that you are ran against. Um, some of them are sample tests or example tests that are shown to you in the statement, which is good. Uh, it's really important to work yourself through at least like all the sample tests, or at least like a few first of them, so that you fully understand why in this case, like we have A is the answer and so on. So this is the open test, the example test, but there are the main part is several or many, like sometimes hundreds, sometimes thousands, secret tests against which you are ran, and on which each in when I'm speaking about the usual competitive programming rounds, then the system is that you have to your solution, not you, but your solution, your code has to on each test work successfully in this amount of time, not a millisecond more. Oh, I'm sorry. Use not no more than this amount of memory, not a byte more, and provide an absolutely correct answer. Like this is the answer that is accepted by the jury system, by the checker program. And if you do it if you are one bit wrong, if you are one symbol wrong, then you haven't solved the problem. So the problem has been solved completely. You have to solve all the jury's test cases, fitting into time, memory, and given the correct answer. I like also, like, I can talk about heuristic contests. I like them a lot. It's like a neighboring industry, not industry, neighboring part of uh, neighboring thing, where you don't have to give the exactly correct solution, but you have to give the solution that is as good as possible, that is scored for some metrics, and the better you do, the more is your score. It's also a wonderful way to learn to code. And there at Coder, I can really recommend you at Coder heuristic contest. Here they are, like in the end of March. There will be the next one for like a week, I think. It will last 1 week, and I really recommend you there. You don't have to make the exact correct answer. Okay. Um, but yeah, so we will have to write the code for this problem, and you read this input from like standard input. So your code should read as if it is reading from the keyboard. And when you test it, you can actually enter this sample input as an input in your IDE, which I will do, and your code should output this and exactly this to the output. So, for example, if you do like debug output or like extra hints for yourself or like helpful information, then it will be also considered output and uh, it will and the checker program will not accept it, unfortunately. So please don't do that. Um, uh, yeah, well, professionally speaking, like if you have to if you really need to output something onto the screen when you're debugging your problem and you don't want it to be considered output, you should know that your program has another output stream called the error stream. So like std error, std error, there is std in, std out, how the programmers call them, and std error. And you can write some information to the error stream, which will be not considered by the checker, and So you can leave, like when submitting to the system, when submitting your code, you don't have to comment out such code. That's what you can do. It is sometimes helpful, but no usual print to output of some debug information. Yeah, so you have to write your code that does from this gets that exactly correctly. So let's finally read the problem. Unfortunately, my headphones are weak on battery, so I will remove them. But if you want to, um, yeah. So I have to charge them a little bit. It's a stupid thing that I didn't prepare. But yeah, so if you want to interrupt me with your voice, you are still free to do so. And also, oh, chat. I'm sorry, I missed. Yeah, I missed the question in the chat. I really promised to do it. Yeah, division 4 is the easiest division. It's not. Mhm. uh, thank you for saying thanks. It's pleasant always. So yeah, it's a new invention. Before I myself is like a veteran from Topcoder who remembers two divisions for like a decade. So it's like a constant that I was really used to. Then it was like, whoa, we'd start in division 3 for because there are a lot of novice students that want to start, and it was cool. And now it's division 4, quite a new thing for me. So for me, it's like in my mind there are like two divisions and that's it. But division 4 is the easiest, and you can. I don't think it will go division 5, because division 4 is definitely like for people who start programming. It's like if you are ready to solve exercises from textbooks about your programming languages, then you definitely can solve like these like 3 problems easily. I think the fourth also. So there is like it will be a bad sign for humanity if we need division 5. Also, just one random thought. Currently, Alpha Code. Well, you can Google it. Yeah. So Alpha Code, like the AI version, AI to AI system, AI network that tries to solve competitive language, competitive programming problems, currently solves these problems quite easily. So Division 4 is even rather easy for AI currently. You can read about that. Like when it's like AlphaGo is the one that won the Go Japanese board game Go, and then I think more or less the same team. No, I'm not sure. Sorry, but like they made Alpha Code that also solves that. But don't be like ashamed of that. If you are just a novice, of course you start on this problem, which are already solvable by AI. Then you will move on, and sometimes you will beat me, and it will be cool. Okay, so let's solve division 4 problem A. Yeah, another note is that usually on Codeforce and many systems of that kind, the author of the contest tries to sort the problems. I'm sorry. In the order of increasing difficulty. So generally, and yeah, but by the way, this is the number of people that solved these problems. Oh, interesting. F is harder than G, which happens. So it's a good pedagogical thing. Please know that sometimes the author doesn't understand his or her problems of his or her problems difficulty correctly, and like the easier problem is with a larger letter, with a further letter. So here, after solving 5 problems, you should have, as we know afterwards, you should have solved G, interestingly. But for the first problems, it's usually easy to sort them. So A is definitely where you start. Okay, I might be talking too much about the overall information. However, I hope it's helpful as well. Yeah, so it wasn't a waste of time, I hope. Problem A, the Vladislav, the hero of the character of the problem, has a string of length 5 with characters A and B. Which letter appears more frequently? So which letter is more frequent in this specific problem, in this specific string? Well, it's an exercise. It's not a like Olympiad level problem. Let's just make sure that we get it accepted easily. So yeah, also simple information about multi-test. I can give you the historical information, why it's important, but this is basically, it makes it a little bit harder for you to code. Like for a very novice person, it's an extra for loop. Uh, like you spend like 30 seconds of your life doing that. But unfortunately, this way it is much easier to check people's solutions. Like when you have thousands, and there are indeed thousands of people participating in each specific round. I think it's now sometimes 20,000 for some rounds. So it's like a really hard task to check all of them simultaneously, um, uh, the correctness. So they make a multi-test so that the checker would make like check your correctness by batches, not by one single one single string. And yes, maybe I didn't say that out loud, that during in the modern time systems, your results, your verdicts are shown like in 1 minute, more or less. Like sometimes in seconds, sometimes in 5 minutes. But you know about your code whether is accepted, whether the verdict is okay, or it is some other verdict like wrong answer, time limit exceeded, and other stuff. So I remember the times when the verdicts were given you after the contest, which was like a little bit other competition. You don't know whether you solved some problems, but you are not sure, that you cannot like forget about it. And in modern competitive programming, if you get accepted for on this problem, you just can forget about it, solve the next problem, and so on. Okay, so multi-test. First, you are given the number of single tests, and then you are given the actual tests, for each of which you have to find um, the most frequent letter in that string. Please note the button copy over here. I have seen novice school students that like to print the sample test by hand, which is a waste of time. You are competing. You don't want to waste time. So moving this to your program by one click is a good thing. Oh yeah, you don't have to. By my old habit, I selected it, but you don't have to. You just say copy, and it's in the buffer. So you go to some IDE, for example. Well, I know people who code just in text editor, but IDE is good. And for example, well, as a simple solution, I propose that you can yeah, Python. I usually code in Kotlin, so the competitive programming things. So, but still, if you want like to watch, just to see the structure of the test or something like that, you can make a multi-line comment in Python. So it doesn't affect your program, but like, well, I'm doing it on a laptop. My screen is rather small, so well, when I was doing it on the stationary computer, I usually had two screens. Like on one screen, I had the statement open, and on another screen, I had the IDE. So it was nice. Currently, I moved to another country due to some reasons, and now I have a small screen. So I just, to not forget what is the structure of the test, you can copy it into a multi-line comment inside your code. So okay, let me actually solve the problem. Um, I like extracting functions. So let me write the main code over here, and the solution of the single case will be as a separate function above. So the main code is a for loop. I read the number of tests. So let me name the variable not n or m, because in the once solving the one test per se, you will be using this variable. So let's call this variable more like okay, I will spend 1 minute on that. I know that as a novice person, you really, I myself did that obviously like 20 years ago, but still, you definitely have this desire to make variables A, B, C, Q, W, E, R, T, and stuff like that. because like the code is shorter, I don't have to spend time typing it. But please believe my experience, when your variables are speaking at least something, are at least a little bit informative, it is better even for competitive programming. I think it's quite obvious for large projects, for industrial or scientific large projects, but for fun, competitive, short programs, it is still better to have informative variables. I'm very sure that's so. So let's read. I hope you know the input or in Python, but this is a string input. The red line is considered a string here. So you have to cast or transform it into an mm, uh, uh, into an integer. What is my oh, blank lines? Okay, blank lines are okay. Oh, it's another thing that I want to point out. When I write, well, I'm not very sure about Python. I don't have like huge experience, but I did solve competitive programming in Python quite many times. But in Kotlin and in IntelliJ IDEA, the warnings are really informative. So I really, before submitting my problem, I really notice if I have any word, well, typos over here. Come on, of course it's a typo, but never mind. The warnings over here are informative. So if I have a warning, not a compile error, but even a warning in Kotlin or in well, yeah, in Java, I also participated. I definitely at least read it, because it can be a serious error that I have. Like I didn't use some parameter, like my variable in this if this variable always is 0. Like it's impossible. Sometimes the warnings are so informative that in general, I don't want to submit a problem that has warnings according to IntelliJ IDEA. In Kotlin, that's the case. In Python, I won't be so sure about this, but let's try to make the problem without our code without warnings. Okay, let me move maybe quicker. So there will be a for loop for some variable. I will not need it more, I think, but the number, test number, let me call it like this, in range of tests, we will actually solve one test. And well, I can name the method solve one test, but that's not that's too verbose, I think. So yeah, this is I hope you know the basic for loop. Do something that many times, this variable will not be used. Some people write like this, like if a iteration variable is not used, there is a convention that you can name it an underscore, but it's not important here. Okay, let's solve. Let's make a solution over here. And I think it's so we read an input, and okay, although it could be called like the processed string or something, for like the main input string or something, it's really okay to use like A for array, S for string. That's normal that I recommend, where you read exactly one line. And so okay, let's exercise in for loops and if. We can try several approaches, but I think it's better to do it on the next problems. So okay, let's maybe make two variables, because we know that there will be um, only two letters. We can just use variables. Make sure you understand variables. Make sure you understand for loops. So we want to iterate by the num index of each letter, which is obviously this code. I could have asked you to say it out loud, but I think I hope this one is really see just syntax, not like algorithm level stuff. So quite easy, I hope, at least understandable. So now, as you know, inside this for loop, I is the index of the some letter, and S with index I is the letter that we are talking about. Oh, by the way, I will later improve this for loop just to teach you some small improvements. Yeah. So we take this letter, it's either A or B, and I'm quite sure. Well, okay, it is it capital? Just to make not to make the wrong attempt, let us check that letters A and B. Well, okay, I hope there is no such stupidity as lowercase letters A and B in case in the test cases, which you like formally, I don't know, formally lowercase letters A and B could fit into this statement. Like, is any one of you from the law school? Like, it's possible, but it will not definitely not happen in the first problem of the division 4 round. It's for novice people to come and like it's an invitation to our world. It's like a advertisement of come to our place. It's fun. It is indeed fun. I've been doing this for like 20 years and more than 20 years, and it's still fun. Um, so definitely no lowercase letters. If also, well, short exercise on if. If this is letter A, then let us increase the variable for. Oh, obviously, I should. Yeah, I hope you understood the meanings of these two variables, the count of ones and the count of the other ones. Um, easy if, easy variables. In the end, well, we know that the length of the string is odd, so there will be no problems with the same A and B. So we can just compare them. Interesting that after Kotlin, I write this parenthesis, but that's not what should be done in Python. If A is greater than B, then print one line with letter A, else print a colon, print one line with letter B, and that's sorry, that's all that should be done in this problem. Let me okay fix the blank lines. So we don't have warnings, which I like sometimes some things like your variable is not value is not used or something. It's a good typos from here. Obviously, we can run it, and I can without going to the other window, I can just reuse this code. No, this not code, this sample. Unfortunately, there is a little problem with the last enter. So yeah, I pressed the enter over here, but the system started out printing output like the enter came over here and the system was already printing this, like the console of your IDE could be imperfect in this sense. It was rather a coincidence, I think. I will try just one more time. No, oh, wait. Oh yes, because well, I should have copied with this new line feed, which would be more beautiful. Yeah, so if you copy with this new line feed, then there is no problems. And this is the answer, BA, BA, B, triple A. We can check it over there, BA, BA, B, triple A. Well, it works on the sample. Let me, for like pedagogical reasons, propose that you make at least one sample of your own. Like, for example, you try, well, you could have tried max test, what we call it, maximal possible test. But not in this problem, maybe in later, in other problem we'll do it. But here, let's just try some minimal test, like B, 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 B. Make sure it prints B. Yeah, it looks correct. Well, I really recommend do some testing on your side before submitting to the system. If you're a novice, you will, well, there are penalties for submitting any attempt that is not accepted. There are different systems of scoring in our world. You can learn, like you can read the specific rules, but generally, like it's making an incorrect attempt is like losing several minutes of your contest time. So it's better to spend like half a minute on more testing locally, and then uh, to then submit and receive okay from the first attempt. I think this we can already remove. This was the solution. I can copy it, or so right here there are many ways to submit. You can submit in this small area over here. You can I usually go to the submit code tab over here. Obviously, they remember that I'm doing Kotlin. Oh, they have newer version of Kotlin. Ah, wonderful. Wonderful for me. I submit some Python. If you will stumble upon time limit exceeded problems, like not problems, time limit exceeded verdicts, like if your code works all around 1 second, where the time limit for this problem is indeed 1 second, then I can propose you playing around with these guys a little bit. Like PyPy is sometimes a little bit faster than usual Python because it's like more C++ level things over there. So it is possible that just submitting in PyPy will actually make your verdict okay. But let's just be straightforward. The problem A with Python. This is the code. Or you could have selected a file from your operating system, also quite possible. But copy paste is also okay. Let me submit. I hope there is no current huge round. Oh, so yeah, it is very quickly checked. The input string. Could we read the input string parameter of the input string parameter of function solve? Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. It is. I do it sometimes. A good question. But right here, sometimes the problem is that the input will be like more structured than this. Like it will be not slow, not one line per multitest, but it will be like an array and then a string and then another array, in which case it's harder to pass, but it's really a good organization of your code. So your idea of passing it's more idiomatic, in fact, because the function solve it's better. Well, formally, it's like input and solve. Like we are writing this strange function, and from the perspective of like perfect code, of like good organization of code, your idea is strictly better. Like make it actually solve this test case. I sometimes do it. Yes. Well, speaking more professionally, it is sometimes this way. It is better if you do such thing as stress testing. Let me spend like 2 minutes to mention it at least. It's a good thing that you will learn that there is such thing if you haven't heard about this. Like if you get verdict wrong answer, for example, runtime error, it's even easier. Like if you have an exception happening on some test case in the system, what you could have done is like to do very many times, like 1 to the 10 to the power of to the power of 9. No, 9 is stupid. 6. Make test case like some random string, for example. So generate a random test case and run your program against this test case, and just see what exception you see in the console. So you don't when your program has, for example, an exception in the system, you don't get the the debug information, the stack trace, or even the information which exception happened. Like some exception happened, you don't know it's array under index out of bounds or division by 0 or whatever, Stack Overflow. So you can, this is the brief introduction to such a wonderful thing as stress testing. You have to implement generation of your own small test case or large test case. In our case, it will be not so hard. It will be like a random string of letters A and B. It's a nice exercise that I hope you can do using import random. It will be just learn this module, and it will be a nice exercise to do so. And then you write, and then you run yourself against random tests like million of times, and you see it. You quickly know at least what exception you have. Yeah. So this is a wonderful question with even better organization that I propose. Mhm. Another thing that I really can show you about for loops is that in this case we don't use the index itself. Like for every specific letter, we don't care if it's a second letter from the left or the fourth letter from the left. So the letter I, the variable I, is not used. In which case, from the for loop over indices, you can switch to for loop over the values themselves. And it's a good reminder of the syntax of for loop in Python. So I generally, yeah, so for simple problems, S is usually in competitive programming the string input. I is definitely, you know, that the integer iteration counter, and the single character, well, the type usually for in other languages for this is string, and for single character is char or character. The first letter is C, so many people use C for a simple variable with one character. So you just could do this, and it's even shorter. You can iterate over value or in the string, not use but not over the index in of the value, but over the value itself, which is even nicer to read. Okay, I think I will solve a second problem. It's a good. I'm planning like what should we do in time. I will just solve the second problem and answer any questions after that. So yeah, this was nice. Let's read the second problem. Vlad and shapes. Oh yes, and we will now learn to work with two-dimensional arrays, which is great. Oh yeah, okay. 13. Like let's try to solve this problem in 13 minutes, which will be a good exercise. We have a binary square of size n times n, like just binary meaning of zeros and ones. And blah blah blah. A triangle is a shape, well, basically like this. It's ones organized like in increasing lengths like this, or decreasing lengths like this. And it cannot be rotated, so it's either triangle shaped exactly like oriented exactly like this, or oriented exactly like this. And the square is defined as, well, please note that k, the size of the square, is larger than 1. It is very important because I have thought about this problem already. So the square is just some square of ones of size at least 2. And for the given grid, determine the type of the single shape that is drawn down there. So for this test case, you have to, why do I search a lot? You have to recognize that this case contains a square. For this, you have to recognize that it contains a triangle. This is a square, this is a triangle, and so on. And you write, for each test case, you print what you have observed, recognized. So this is like a very introduction to computer vision or object recognition problems from real world, very important real world problem. So you are promised that it is exactly either the input it's either exactly one triangle or exactly one square. Well, in this problem, you have to really, what I propose is like Olympiad level thinking. You should to propose, think of the shortest code that does the trick. Like this is the first Olympiad level problem in this problem set, because you can write a long code like let's find the like try to build some triangles, try to build some squares, compare against this. But really what you need is to uh, find the short detail that helps you distinguish between a square and a triangle. And well, I can give you like several seconds to think. If you already have thought of it, then check yourself as a great inventor. Uh, and if you consider the vertex, the not the left and the right, but or the right, but the bottom or the top vertex of the triangle, there is a single one that is surrounded exactly by two zeros. For the upwards oriented triangle, also there is definitely this vertex, this which is a one surrounded by two zeros. Whereas for a square of size at least 2, it's important. Size is at least 2. Uh, the There will be no such situation. All the ones are in rows of length at least 2, so no one is uh, present. No single one is surrounded by two zeros. So that's what we will look for, and we will and that's how we by seeing just 0, 1, 0, you will definitely understand the triangle, and by not seeing it, you will definitely understand a square. Well, if you had it in your mind quicker than me, then congratulations. We only have like 10 minutes left, so I didn't give you like 5 minutes to think. But that's what I like about competitive programming. Well, I think I will not do two-dimensional arrays because we don't need them. We can just read like 3 times this string, and it will be a very short code. Yeah. So please save your previous code. I will copy this as C tutorial A. It's in some stupid situations, it will be like it's rather that you have on your computer the code for the previous problem. Like if you reuse the same file, it's a bad idea to reuse the same file and deleting the old code. Like for example, the system can rejudge. There can be a rejudge in the system, like wrong test or something, and you will have to redo the previous problems or something like that. So this is the same. The multi-test framework organization is just the same. This we will remove. We will first read the size of the square. Uh, well, let us just have one flag variable, a Boolean flag variable. So at some point, we will realize that, hey, this is a triangle. So let's make it like is triangle. Yeah, let's make it verbose. Is triangle is originally false, but by finding 0, 1, 0, we will make this variable true. So we make a simple for loop for I. Actually, let me do this. I will not need the index of the row. Like I will read n rows and lines, but I don't need the number. I don't care if it's a second or fourth row. So I don't care about the index. I will just do something n times. What do I do? I read a row, and it's basically a single string. So I will not call my variable row. I will call it s, the current string. I will read this row. It's a string that I don't need to do like any smart processing. It's a string. And well, here I will remind you that the in operator is in Python is interestingly implemented for strings, because if like one string in another string works by checking if this string is present as a substring of that string. It's not on usually it's whether this element is present in this collection, but for strings, it's not only whether this character is present in this string, which is a collection of characters, but also if this substring, maybe of length more than one, is present as a substring in the larger string. So what you just have to do is check if this vertex-ish pattern is present in this row, in which case, yes, this is a triangle. We remember this Boolean flag as true. And okay, my solution will fit in my screen, because I will remind you of the ternary if operator. I will print. Oh, and definitely please copy that and not write it yourself. When like don't write like this, because you can make like triangle or something, and you will just, for like many minutes, you will misunderstand what is wrong with your wonderful code. Uh, well, from my language is Russian. We spent like once on an important contest, we spent like 20 minutes because in Russian, as a Russian people, we wrote standard. Uh, is that's like the in some languages the T is over here, and the correct answer was standard, and we didn't even notice that this is an error at all. And we spent like 20 minutes, I think. So please do not print it yourself. Always copy it. And the ternary operator is if is triangle, else also do not type it yourself. Obviously print it, else square. Okay, so now the apart from the multi-test framework, the actual solution of a not so easy problem actually fits one uh, my screen with large font. Let me copy the example. Let me put it here. Square, triangle, square, triangle, triangle, square, square, triangle, square, triangle, triangle, square. Well, yeah, so this is the entire solution. This is the wonderful idea. Let's submit, just to make sure that we don't have misunderstanding or something. Problem B Python, well, basically any Python. Submit. Wait a little bit. It's usually less. Yeah, okay. In a quite short time, it worked. So we in this Zoom in this meeting, we didn't um, receive time limit problems, but still, let me in the last 4 minutes at least teach you that if you sometimes instead, if you have like if you are close to time limit, you can import system, and instead of input, you can write uh, yeah sys.stdin dot read line, which is a little bit quicker. I recommend you this. Also, and instead of print, you could oh, sorry, this is a wonderful arrow. You can write sys dot oh, by the way, yes, this is the one that I was talking about. Like if you want to print some debuggish information that shouldn't be noticed by the checker program, please use this one. This is the error stream of your program, and this is just a uh, quicker, faster working output routine, but it takes it doesn't make print new line feed. So if you want to print like ABB, well, ABABA, you should also include the special line feed character specifically. But yeah, so instead of printing like this, you should do this code with uh, not forgetting about the line feed character, but this will be quicker a little bit. And also, we didn't move to the third or fourth problem where your input is like 4 integers, 1, 2, 3, 9. So this is sometimes you have to read this, and I don't know your level of Python, but I definitely must teach you in this Zoom that reading parsing this line is like array is, well, you can make it okay, let me do it one by one operation. You input such line, you split it like this into array. So now it will be like an array of 1, 2, 3, and 9, like this. The split separates these input string into tokens of non-white space characters. So you will have like anything like this will be considered one token of non-white space, and it will be in an array. And then for each of these elements of the array, you have to make it and cast it to the integer. So you do so you the easiest way is to do this. But unfortunately, in Python 3, well, in Python 2, one fun fact, it would work. But in Python 3, it applies the int function to each guy over here, but returns like the generator that gives you these guys one by one. So probably you want to store it as a list. And this is quite an often magic line in competitive programming. When you want to read this as an array of integers, you split this line, you map each token to be applied to you make int function be applied to each token, and then you get your list of these elements. So please do like this. Well, you will usually do like this. Don't be afraid of such parsing of input. And yeah, that's exactly. It's 1 hour time. I think I showed you the information about the platforms and the aggregator for seeking for new rounds. I solved a couple of exactly 2 problems with you. I hope I showed you the how to do the basic things in competitive programming. So I'm ready to answer questions. Yeah, thank you for saying thank you. I can answer specific questions in voice or in chat. But basically, just please develop in this area, become cool guys and girls, cool people of any gender in competitive programming. Beat me in terms of rating and stuff like that. Yes, LeetCode also. Yeah, LeetCode is another site. Sometimes it just happened that I only solved like a little bit there, but it's famous. Yes, I think LeetCode is good because as far as I'm not special on LeetCode, sorry for that, but as far as I understand, the problems there are like kind of looking of what they will make on the interviews to some software engineer companies. So this is also a famous place to train if you're looking about not like the career in programming language, competitive programming competitions, but like for interview, preparing yourself for interviews. Yeah, definitely. LeetCode is a famous one. Also, like in the December, there will be a famous Advent of Code, but this will be only in December. It's also a beautiful one. Yeah, what are the other resources? So yeah, on the Codeforce, you on the main page there are blogs, and you can just read blogs and see interesting links over there, and announcements will happen there. So let me finish like this. I will go to the main over here. For example, you have recent actions, and you can read some announcements from other people, like what's going on. It's normal to advertise other platforms over here. It will not, such advertisements will usually not happen to be on the main page and on the left, but on the right, on the like this streaming of posts, there will be an announcement of like, yeah, right here, like this announcement of a contest in another system, like a competitor system, but it works um, like you can find it here. Which division on Codeforce would be UKIEPC? I think like more or less like 3. I think there will be like 3 with some problems even closer to Div 2. But it's okay to be in the like lower part of the rankings. It's a start of the career, for example, and you will later be on top. So right now, like train on Div 4 and Div 3, and you will solve some problems on the UKIEPC, I think. Okay, I think thank you guys for listening. Have fun in this area. Develop yourselves. Okay, take care. Thank you guys. Thank you.